Welcome to the lawyerfair.co.uk daily podcast. Lawyerfair helps businesses find the right lawyer at the fairest price. But on this podcast, we just chew the fat with some great guests.
I guess I was pretty naive when I went onto the show, thinking it was actually really about business. It turned out to be more of a personality contest rather than kind of a true business competition. So I guess that's why I define it as probably one of the most least enjoyable experiences.
I mean,
I guess I'm a bit boring to a certain extent. I'm all about business.
yeah, no, I can see that. But do you tune into the new series?
I haven't seen it for. I mean, I haven't seen all of my episodes, but I haven't seen it for many years. But I did tune into it yesterday to take a look, and nothing's changed. Same format, same old rubbish in the boardroom, same old kind of candidates. You think over a decade, things might have evolved a little bit, but just seems like the same old.
Well, they
It
have.
was a struggle to stick to it for an hour,
Yeah.
but I kind of managed to do it.
Well, they've got a formula and they're sticking with it, aren't they? But anyway, there we go. Listen, we are now recording, and I've got a wonderful guest on today's Lawyer Fair Daily podcast. That's Raj Dhonota. Welcome, Raj.
Thank you.
Uh, Thank you very much for joining us. Now, we are going to discuss what angels look for in early stage companies, and there's a very clear reason why. Because Raj not only has exited his own business and built up another multi-million pound business, but am I right in suggesting that you've launched a £1 million startup fund?
Yes, I launched the fund. I'm actually back in January 2014, so it's been going for a while. It's probably gone well over the budget I set aside, but I'm okay as long as my wife doesn't find out.
Well, I understand you've invested in over 20 different startup ventures.
Yes, correct.
So tell me this: what is it that makes the ones you invest in stand out?
Okay, I'd probably start by saying I'm slightly different in terms of what I look for. So I'm probably one of the few angel investors that will invest at concept stage, and what I essentially look for is an idea that using with the experience that I've got over 2 decades, I can see the opportunity, and we basically look to work with entrepreneurs, giving them the support and the skill set that they need, because a lot of entrepreneurs generally don't have the full skill set they need in order to launch a startup. So I'm slightly different in that respect. If you talk about the majority of the finance market, whether it's business angels or venture capitalists, the very least that they probably look for three things. The first is obviously the team. They want to know that whoever they're investing in, the team is capable to deliver to the full potential of the business. The second thing that they'll generally look for is at the very least a product. Like I said, 97% of the market in terms of VCs and angels will only look at ventures that have a product or a working prototype, and even then, the majority will want some proof of traction. So, in terms of three things that they generally look for is the team, product, and some sort of traction to prove the business concept.
Now, the most investors in early stage startups, Raj, are investing, as you say, a little bit further down the track, not hugely down the track, but they have some sense of traction.
Yes.
But the risk factor goes up the earlier you get involved, and therefore getting involved at the concept stage. I mean, how do you rationalise what has made the ones you've invested in really stand out?
So we look for certain things. Obviously, a lot of it is about gut instinct that's been kind of developed over, like I said, 10, 15 years. In terms of what we look for, or in terms of what I look for, it's an idea within an industry that perhaps, for example, if it's a tech venture, hasn't been touched by technology. So we've got a couple of ventures within the medical profession that's been largely untouched by technology. We look for ideas where which doesn't really look to improve on something, but are completely new and unique to ventures. And yes, for sure, it's certainly the much higher risk at concept stage. But because we not only bring finance, but also skills, teams, marketing, development, whatever's needed, in effect, we build a team around entrepreneurs. And I hope over the course of 3 years, I'll have found that I'll have mitigated a lot of that sort of higher risk at the beginning.
And do you personally get involved? Do you roll your sleeves up and get stuck in?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm an active investor, so part of what I do is obviously, I guess, back myself to help some of these startups succeed. So I don't look to control the business on a day-to-day basis. I can't do that across the portfolio, but certainly in terms of mentoring, bringing contacts to the table, helping startups in terms of strategy, advice, experience. For sure, I'm very active on that with each of the startups.
And are they generally technology based, or are you pretty and any particular sector, or are you fairly agnostic?
I'm fairly agnostic. I'd probably say 75% of my portfolio is tech because my background is tech, so they come to me a bit like a magnet, I guess. But for sure, I'm looking for non-tech ventures that so I can balance out the portfolio. But tech just keeps on coming back to haunt me, and some of them are so interesting that I say, hey, why not?
Well,
Let's add another one to the portfolio.
absolutely. Some say tech is the future, Raj. I've got a few grey hairs. I have still to be convinced. And so you must be getting quite a lot of applications and interest, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, I do it full time, so I speak to 5 startups a day, 5 days a week. So over the course of a month, I'll have spoken to 100 startups, and I think my average is probably an investment one every month. So if you kind of put a formula to that, that's roughly one in every 100.
Yeah. And I mean, your antennae must be super sharp now. Are there personalities that come across? You think I want to invest in this person even before you've heard about the concept itself?
It depends on how it comes to me. For sure, there are personalities out there that appear very strong, very confident. The people that you can sense, yes, regardless of what this person gets involved with, he will make it a success, and that's obviously a huge factor in terms of giving me confidence that yes, you're certainly worth the investment. So yeah, the person certainly plays a lot of a lot in that decision making process.
Well, listen, that's fascinating, and I mean, we opened up this. I should have probably introduced it at the very beginning, Raj. But Raj was a contestant on the very first Apprentice, and we were just
For my sins.
for your sins. Well, I was a very honest assessment of it, Raj. I was just mentioning that on Raj's website, he refers to it as one of the least enjoyable experiences of his life, which I thought, bearing in mind it's all starting again today, was very honest of you about it. But
Yes, sure.
sorry, mate. I left the pause in there. But listen, thank you so much for joining us. And now, how do people get in touch with you, Raj? If they've got an amazing idea, they reckon is a no-brainer for you to get investing in. How do they get hold of Raj?
Sure, they can get to my website, which is www.rajdhonota.com. It has all my contact details, telephone number, email, or they can submit a proposal online. Mainly via my website.
Great stuff. Well, we'll add that to the tail of this podcast. But listen, Raj, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
No problems.
And
Thank you.
if you do watch The Apprentice, try and enjoy it.
Oh, mission impossible on that one, I think.
Thanks again, Raj. All the best.
Okay,
Have a good day.
cheers. Bye-bye.
That was the Lawyer Fair Daily podcast. There will be more, of course, tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening to the lawyerfair.co.uk daily podcast. If you'd like to listen to more, why not subscribe and download each episode via iTunes or visit us on the lawyerfair.co.uk website.